Hey, I'm Matt. Another exciting home inspection video. So today we're going to talk about sewer scopes. Well, first of all, we're here in my storage area where I keep my tools. I actually do a lot of construction type stuff. We flipped houses. A little bit of commercial stuff, but mostly houses. This is just some of my tool assortment here. That's hydrojetting hoses for hydrojetting sewers. We'll talk about that in another lesson, but anyway, let's talk about the sewer stuff today. So I dumped out my bag. This is what I carry a lot of my sewer stuff in. The stuff that I don't usually need goes in here, okay? And that's what most of the stuff on the floor is. I keep it in the truck in case I need it, but I don't usually need it. The stuff I usually need is right here in this 5-gallon bucket. I bring it in the house when I do a sewer scope. I've got rubber gloves in here and sanitizer. These are the surgical gloves in here, which a lot of guys wear. I also have these big heavy-duty rubber gloves, and sometimes I wear both. I'll put the surgical gloves on and then put these big heavy gloves over because the surgical gloves tend to tear. But I've got hand sanitizer in here. Always keep that handy. There's a lot of germs in sewers. You can actually get, people always talk about E. coli, but you know what it is from my reading? It's hepatitis. You can get hepatitis from sewer lines. So anyway, in the bucket, I have a peanut butter jar. What's in there? Not peanut butter, I hope. Those are my skids or donuts that go on the camera head to get you up out of the water. Those go on the end of the camera head, and it just raises you up out of the water a little bit so you get a better picture. Sometimes you have to take them off and do it without anything, but those are my extras there. Let's see. I keep my big one on the head. That's a big skid on there. That is a micro reel, rigid micro reel, 100 feet. That's what I'm using right now. I love that camera. Makes video, and you can narrate too. You got sound and video with that one. I paid $3,600 for that a few years back before COVID. You know, I was looking at them online before I made this video, and it looks like they're $5,000 now. You'll have to shop around, but they've gone up. Anyway, in the bucket, which I always bring in the house, I have this lid with the hole cut in there to accommodate my wrench. And I sit on this bucket when I do the sewer scopes most of the time to save your knees. I do have knee pads though. There's my knee pads. I never had knee issues till I started doing sewer scopes, and I'd be down on my knees for like 20 minutes. And I started having knee problems, so I quit doing that. Now I sit on the bucket. I always wear knee pads during my inspections. So in the bucket, I got this big wrench. That's a nice big Harbor Freight wrench. I think it's called Cobalt, it says on there. I keep some of this liquid wrench, or this is called penetrating. You know, this is to help get sewer caps off. So when I first get to a house and I look around, if the cap looks like it's going to be stubborn, I'll put this on it, you know, and then give it a couple whacks to loosen things up with my baby sledge so that this juice can get down in there. The liquid wrench or penetrant, whatever that's, what is that called? Oh, 3-in-1 fast acting penetrant. Okay. So that's what I keep in the bucket. Like I said, this other stuff goes in the bag, which I rarely use. So I've got various caps in case I have to cut a cap off of a sewer line. You of course have to replace it before you go. So I have lots and lots of different sizes here. And then I have these are called test caps too. So these don't have threads on them. Sometimes the threads will be stripped or worn out on the sewer access, and I put one of these on. I got some little pipe wrenches here. Mostly I just use that big one. Medium-sized pipe wrench. Extra blades for the grinder. I typically use the grinder to cut through the sewer cap initially, and because it's round, you can only cut like so much, like up to the threads of the sewer clean out. And then I'll finish the cut with the reciprocating saw with a metal blade in it. That's how I always do it, but you could do the whole thing with a Sawzall. It's not that difficult. This is just much faster. It goes through it like warm butter. What else? The various different kinds of devices that I have to get sewer caps off are laying here. By far the best one I found, and I saw kind of a rough looking dude doing a sewer scope during one of my home inspections. I saw him pull out a flat bar. They call this a carpenter's flat bar. And he just stuck it in the cap and turned it off. And I was like, get out of here. That's a great idea. So I started, and the longer they are, the better, you know. So I've got a pretty nice long one here. This one's a little bit shorter, I think. No, it's the same length. Anyway, those are great for getting caps off when you have those slits in there. And there's different configurations. Like that one's got the cross in it. You could use the flat bar to get that one off too. But I've accumulated all these other wrenches over time. Some of them I've probably never even used. I got this funny looking thing. This one. This comes in handy because I actually bought caps. I found some replacement caps online, pretty inexpensive. I bought these on Amazon, I think. It's called Zern, and it's got that funny. It don't have a knuckle on the top. We can put a wrench on it, right? It's got that, and then I use this and stick that in there, and then you put your pipe wrench on it right there and just turn it with your pipe wrench. Same with this thing. This is for getting big caps like these. I think that, you know, that's for that size. And then you just put your pipe wrench on there and turn it, okay? To get them off or put them on, tighten them up, whatever it is you're trying to do. This is good too for the flat bar replacement. You know what this is? This is for installing vinyl plank flooring, or, you know, any kind of flooring, I guess, plank flooring. So you hook it on one end on the flooring, and then you hit the other end with your hammer to pull it tight, you know. But these are good too for those slotted heads. So if you got one of these laying around, and it's real heavy duty metal too. That's what's nice about it. That thing won't bend. What else have we got here? Oh, I keep liquid dishwasher soap in my truck in case I need to lube up a line, in case you get your camera stuck, or even trying to get out to the main. It can be difficult to get out to the main, and you need to, you know, you run the water and put the soap in there. And you want to use this kind of soap because it does not suds. If you use regular dish soap, there's some sitting right here. If you use that, it suds up and you can't see anything. You want to use the Cascade or some kind of dishwasher soap. What else? I have various chisels and things, and you know, sometimes these things come in handy. Oh, the flat bar again is good for when you have to cut a cap off. I cut across in mine. I do this way, then I do this way, and cut it into 4 pieces. The flat bar is very handy for sticking in there and then prying. Once you get one piece of that four square out that you cut in there, once you get one piece out, you're home free. Very handy flat bar. I actually have a stethoscope here, and many times here in the Detroit area, you'll have 2 sewer lines in the basement at the front or back of the house like this, and you don't know which one is the sanitary line and which one is the storm drain line, because they both have cleanouts in the basement. You can actually put your ear on there and have somebody flush the toilet, or you can turn a faucet on somewhere and you can hear the water running most of the time with your ear. But if you have a stethoscope, you can hear every time. So, stethoscope for sewer scopes. When you want to put the cap back on, sometimes the threads will be messed up, dirty and nasty. I have a wire brush for that. You know, and then sometimes you put a little soap on there again on the threads of the cap to get it on there good. So that's handy. What else? I have a drop cloth laid out here. and I've used this drop cloth for years. But you know what would be better? A plastic tarp. So if there's, you know, carpet, God forbid, a white carpet in a basement by the sewer clean out, you want to have something to put down. I had the cloth, so I started using it, and it's never failed me. It's good. But you know what? A plastic tarp would be better. And usually the sewer clean out is, what, about a foot off the basement wall. So if you cut a hole in it, about a foot off the edge of your plastic tarp, lay it out, then, you know, it's almost like a surgeon. You know how they cover up everything except where they're going to cut on a person. So that would be really the thing to do, I think. What else? I think that's about it on the tools. I'll talk about the camera another minute. Yeah, my first camera was huge, and it was on wheels, and I'd have to push it in on a cart. And by the time I was done with an inspection, I didn't even want to do the frickin' sewer scope. I'd be tired. And lugging that camera in there, it was such a pain in the butt. I didn't even want to do the sewer scope. I did not look forward to it. But this camera is much lighter. You can pick it up with one hand. Now my big camera was 200 feet, but it had a big steel frame and wheels and everything, and it was very, very heavy. It didn't make video, and it didn't let you narrate. It didn't have sound. This has both. It's very lightweight. You could take this in a crawl space. You can go on a roof with it and run it down the soil pipe if you can't get in the excess, you know, on the ground. So I like that a lot, but the drawback is it's only 100 feet. And it's called a micro reel, micro CA350. So the drawback is the line's not as stiff. It's for, you know, a little bit smaller lines. So it's very flexible. So the advantage is you can get through turns and things easier than one of those big lines. My old camera, the line was twice that size. So you couldn't get through very many turns before you know, couldn't go any farther. This one's more flexible, so you can get through more turns, but the drawback is it's only 100 feet. Here in the Detroit area, this is good to do sewer scopes. I'd say 95% of the time I make it to the main with this 100-foot camera. If it was 120 feet, I'd make it 100% of the time, I think. Why they don't make a 120-foot camera, I don't know. They make you jump up to the 200-foot one, which is like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, depending, you know, what features you get. But this has been a good camera for me. The head comes off of there. It's got a microphone on it. You put a little sand disc in there. There's the microphone right there. So I hold it up to my mouth and I narrate. It's not a self-leveling head, but you can hit the button and level it yourself. You know, you turn it and it'll turn the click, click, click until you get level. It's got a battery right here that recharges, and these batteries last a very long time. I'm very happy with the batteries. But yeah, it's a rigid micro reel sea snake. So it's been a good camera for me. I like it a lot. I think that's about it, guys. So that camera, you know, let's say it's $5,000 now. You'll make that money back in 6 months, 3 months maybe, even depending on how many sewer scopes you get. And I can honestly say that I believe every house should have a sewer scope done. Every house, every commercial building. It's not like mold where, you know, I've seen guys try to sell people a mold test that they really didn't need. I'm like, you know, the house looks, you know, clean as a pin, and they try to sell them a mold test, and, you know, you don't need that. Or around here we don't have a lot of radon. If someone wants a radon test done, I will do it, but I'm truthful with them. I go, look, this area's not known for radon. If you want me to do radon, I'll do a radon test for you. But it's, you know, this much money. I usually charge like at least 150, 175, 200 even, depending on how far the drive is. So as an ancillary thing, an add-on, sewer scope is #1 choice. You'll make that money back quickly. You're doing your clients a service. I got into doing hydrojetting because of the camera, and you make even more money because, as I say in my lessons, a lot of times the sewer line going from the line under the basement floor, going from the laundry area, and then the kitchen's right above a lot of times, and it goes over to the main that line gets plugged up a lot and needs to be jetted. And if you can find it, so I'll inspect that line too with that camera. And if you can find a problem in there, a lot of times I get the job to come back and hydrojet the line. I give them a good price. I make them a before and after video. People are very happy. If they get a plumber over there, I'm not kidding you, 9 times out of 10 they tell them, oh, the line's collapsed. We have to bust it up and put a new line in, and it's, you know, $25, $35, $4,500, whereas I will hydrojet it for $600, $700, $800. So you're helping people, you really are. So that's about it, guys. Sewer scopes, as far as add-ons go in home inspection business, sewer scopes would be my #1 choice. If you have a lot of radon in your area, yeah, go in the radon business too. But my choice here in this area, sewer scopes. Thanks for watching.